So you think you are a UFC fanatic? Well, we challenge you to guess the names of these 10 fighters based on their trivial points. Let's see how many you can get. Number 10. First up, this fighter began his mixed martial arts career way back in 1997. It took him almost a decade to get to the UFC, but once he arrived, it only took him 2 fights to win the coveted UFC middleweight title. Lastly, he earned his iconic nickname after a fight announcer said he resembled a certain friendly neighborhood hero. The correct answer is Anderson Silva. Number 9. This fighter is the inaugural UFC Women's Champion. Of her 6 championship wins, 4 of them have come by way of submission via armbar. And after her short but sweet UFC career, she transitioned over to the WWE, where she made history as part of the first all-female main event match in WrestleMania. Time's up, fight fans. The correct answer is Ronda Rousey. Number 8. It took this fighter 11 years and 28 fights to capture the coveted UFC gold. One of the most prolific finishers in the sport, this fighter owns the record for the most wins by submission in the UFC with 16. Aside from his wildly entertaining kill or be killed fighting style, he is known for his fondness of horses. He even has a tattoo of one on both arms. The correct answer has a name, and his name is Charles de Bronx Oliveira. If you got this one right, congrats for earning another point. Number 7. This fan favorite kickstarted his combat sports journey by mastering the art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He took the next step by entering the Ultimate Fighter house, fighting his way to the finale, and earning a sought-after UFC contract by winning the show's 5th season. Beloved by many, this fighter's greatest claim to fame is becoming the first man to hand Conor McGregor a loss in the UFC octagon. I'm not surprised, motherfuckers. The right answer is Nate Diaz. Hopefully you got that right. Number 6. Born into a God-fearing Christian family, this fighter's family wanted him to become a pastor. But it became apparent in his teenage years that his God-given athleticism made him well-suited in the octagon than a pulpit. This athlete proved to be one of the best fighters in the world when he won a UFC title at the age of 23 years old, a record that still stands today. His record is nearly flawless, aside from a DQ loss he suffered early in his career. If your answer is John Jones, congratulations, you earned another point. Number 5. This fighter is considered as one of the greatest to ever do it. Having retired with an immaculate record of 29 wins and no losses, he was recently inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame Modern Wing. Although his legacy is widely respected among the community, he was also involved in one of the most notorious post-fight brawls in the history of the sport. Time's up. The correct answer is none other than Khabib Nurmagomedov. Number 4. This fighter's love for anime and everything geek culture makes him stand out from the ultra-macho world of mixed martial arts. He loves anime so much that he even voiced a character on Netflix's Baki Hanma. In a past career, he fought as a professional kickboxer, but he only truly blossomed into a superstar in the octagon. Lastly, he is one of the longest tenured male champions in the UFC and is consistently vying for the top pound-for-pound spot. That's right, it's none other than UFC middleweight champ Israel Adesanya. Number 3. This flamboyant star fights exactly how he looks, flashy, bizarre, and always entertaining, making his way into the UFC by winning a fight in Dana White's Contender Series. He quickly turned into one of the most popular fighters on the UFC roster. If that's not a dead giveaway, he's known for hanging out with the Nelk Boys and smoking weed on his Instagram videos. Of course, we're talking about the leader of the Sugar Show himself, bantamweight star Sean O'Malley. Number 2. This next star is married to a fellow fighter. One of the most technical strikers on the UFC roster, she's only one of 3 fighters training under coach Trevor Whitman's guidance. Thanks to her grit and determination, she became the first female fighter to reclaim a UFC title after losing it. If your answer is Thug Rose Namajunas, congratulations, because you just earned another point. Number 1. Before the fame and fortune, this fighter used to work as a plumber's apprentice during his teenage years. A notorious octagon bad boy, this foul-mouthed, self-proclaimed psychic had several run-ins with the law. Nevertheless, he often backs up his talk with action. He left an indelible mark on the sport by becoming the UFC's first ever 2-division champion. It's Conor McGregor. If you didn't get that right, then you're probably just a casual viewer of the sport. That's okay though, he's been gone for over a year now. That's all we have for today's game. Don't forget to follow Sportskeeda MMA on all of our social media platforms.